Mr. Cotton. Mr. Cotton, no. Mr. Ossoff. Mr. Ossoff, aye. Mr. Warnock. Mr. Warnock, aye.
The Musk-Trump freeze took funding away from our police departments and law enforcement officials. The COPS hiring program is a lifeline to many law enforcement agencies. COPS hiring grants provide funding directly to law enforcement agencies to increase their community policing capacity and crime prevention efforts. On behalf of all Americans who care about public safety, I introduced this amendment to provide increased resources for local law enforcement. This is a bipartisan issue.
Senator from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. President. I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment. We should ensure that all law enforcement has the necessary equipment, training, and resources to keep our communities safe and thoroughly investigate crimes committed against all people. I've come to the floor and I've spoken on this many, many times in the 10 years that I've been here. Securing the border must remain the top priority in reducing crime, and this amendment does not adequately support necessary safety improvements, so I urge you to vote no.
Ms. Cantwell. Mrs. Capito. Mr. Cassidy.
On this vote, the nays are 52, the yeas are 48. The amendment is not agreed to.
Senator from Illinois, Ms. Duckworth, proposes an amendment number 971.
Mr. President, this amendment would protect the right to IVF and other fertility care, and it would require insurers to cover IVF. I know my Republican colleagues will claim that President Trump has already solved this problem, but don't be fooled. Donald Trump's recent toothless, overly vague executive order does nothing to expand access to IVF.
Senator from Alabama.
Mr. President, IVF is legal and accessible in all 50 states. This amendment is nothing more than a Trojan horse. It is far more expansive than they would want you to believe. It actually creates a universal right to, quote, assisted reproductive technologies, allowing future administrations to move this into human cloning and really gene-edited designer babies.
Mr. Thune, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Tuberville, Mr. Van Hollen, Mr. Warner.
The yeas are 49. The nays are 51. The motion is not agreed to. The amendment is not agreed to. Jeez.
Ms. Baldwin.